Good morning, traders. Are you guys ready to get back to the trading action? This is live trading where we get into the action, show you everything that we go through, our process. Stick right here to get right to it.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. I mean, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Morning to everybody in the chat. Always good to see you guys out there. And I always feel like we got at least a positive bunch in the chat. And that's what it's all about, getting started the week right. Let's get the week started right. Let's bring on my man, of course, Ryan Faloona in the house. We'll get to the action. And like always, let's find the bright side of life today. And let's go see if we can find some bright side in the trading action. It's not going to be easy, but one thing's certain, we'll be here battling with you guys all week. So hit that like button down below. That shows us that you guys are battling along with us. Let's get to the action. Jan, it's good to see you in the chat. Smoke Tuna, everybody out there. Carmen, Jared. That's what it's all about, guys. Let's get to the action. Let's see what we can find today. I will share my screen. I don't really have much out there right now. I still got a little bit of intel on the swing, but going to take a look to see what happens in these smaller names today. Of course, I'm also going to be looking for a little bit of a bounce back in the market. What's one way that we can maybe look at that is maybe like a SOX L type of play, right? I do play SOX L pretty well, so I'm going to be looking to maybe play this one today. We'll see what happens. And why is this? Because I always talk about what's called the Max Payne trade, right? And I learned this from Dennis Dick, right? You guys know Dennis Dick. He's on Pre-Market Prep. And it's something that I actually weigh in a lot of my outlook, right? I talk about psychology a lot of the time here and how the psychology sometimes drives traders to think in one way and we get the opposite, right? Today's one of those days that I think we can have that, where the psychology is bearish, 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 bears, bears. I even saw some people, and Dennis was telling me that they were talking about like the 84 crash or something like that and posting charts like that on Twitter. I mean, come on, guys. I don't think we're in anywhere near a situation of a crash. It's not like Taiwan's getting attacked or anything. If you saw things like that, then it'd be like, okay, well, maybe you could be right on a crash. But the truth is, we're just on a downturn. And why? Because we're in a lack of positive catalyst area. What do I mean by that? What positive are we getting towards the market right now? There's not much. And if you guys can tell me some positive catalysts in the market, then let me know. Right now, all you're hearing is some, and I'm sorry to say it like this, but some dumb talk about the government and their budget and things like that. And you're hearing what? Talks on inflation, prolonged interest rates. It's a lot of negative out there. Where's the positive? Let me know, guys, if you guys know. All right, let's get to the markets. We'll take a look at some other stocks out there. If you guys have anything to take a look at, you guys want to talk about it, throw it up in the chat. We'll make sure we catch it, like Steve right now, talking about Netflix. All eyes on Netflix. We could keep an eye on Netflix, of course. Netflix. Let's take a look at the levels first, and then, of course, we can talk about how the writer's strike has been looking like it's going to end, and so that could help Netflix get a little bit of a bounce. But let's be honest, Netflix has been on a big decrease, right? It went from 450 now towards like 380s, 379.80s right now. It did feel a little bit of a gap here. And so a little part of me is going to be looking to see if maybe we can hold 376.85, this area here. It's 375.87. Hold that on pullbacks and start making our way back up to 380s. That could maybe get a bounce back towards like 386, 390s. Do I expect this back to 400 on Netflix anytime soon? No, I actually think we're going to start seeing consumer slowdown affect subscribers in a bunch of different streaming services. So we'll see what happens there. Netflix, will this go lower? Have to find out today. All right, let me go ahead and kick it to my man Ryan. We'll go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500, the SPY in Ryan's case. And of course, if you guys got some of those smaller names, I know everybody's shouting out RNAZ. I'm sure Ryan already knows all about that one. Let's kick it to him. And how you doing today, Ryan? It's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. I'm doing all right. NFL weekend was brutal,
Yeah.
but fun to watch. Actually didn't do very well on my sports betting either. Normally I kind of lean on that for some excitement, but man, had a really rough weekend of sports betting as well. Now we
Yeah.
turn our attention to the market, though. By the way, speaking of sports, we have another doubleheader tonight on Monday Night Football, so super stoked about that. But until that happens, we're going to turn our attention here to the market and look at what we have here on the SPY chart. So the purple shaded area on my SPY chart that I've been saying we are going to go to for months now. It's during this period, I actually looked like a complete doofus for saying that. But in any case, I've said that we're going to go here. Now we are here. Now, Mitch, one of the things that you just said in your open is that you're actually looking for a market bounce. And not to sound like a flip-flopper here, but so too am I. Let me make the case for potential market bounce here. First of all, the purple shaded area, this is the price level that we talked about. Bottom end of this range, about 426. Currently at 428.80. So even if we're a little weak here right out of the open, that's possible that the buyers kind of catch that and bounce it. But let's also take a look at the RSI. If I take this chart and I back this chart out so that we can see into the back end of 2019, you'll notice that our RSI reading right now is 29.93. So we are in fact oversold. We're below 30, which is that, line in the sand on the downside here. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is take a look at the last time that we had an RSI reading of this kind. All right, would have been September of 2022. Okay, right in here, there was a little bit of a choppy bottom, but then eventually we bounced. Last time before that was January of 22. Let me move the chart here. January of 22, we bounced right in here, sold off again, and then bounced again. By the way, that other bounce was in March, so that took a little bit. And then the last time that we were here was the COVID low of 2020, which of course there was a little bit of a choppy bottom and then we bounced. So I'm wondering if the same pattern is going to hold up here. Now, I don't really think that means that we necessarily bounce today. In all of these previous examples, we've seen it kind of consolidate, create kind of that messy area and then bounce. And I suspect that we might see something similar here in this case. Now, for today, if we do bounce just today, I don't necessarily expect the bounce to be that huge. But maybe we do just get a knee-jerk bounce as we're looking at a really oversold SPY market here. So that's what I have here. That's obviously going to affect things like the ETFs that we do. It's going to affect any VIX trades that you folks place. I'm certainly not going to place any of those. And it's going to affect the broader market. We'll see. We'll see where we end up going here. Now, my personal view on the market is I think we should probably break down again. The economy is not as strong as people on TV and the people in a position of power are saying. And I also expect the consumer to tighten up. However, depending on how long that takes to materialize, there are some positive headwinds. Like, for example, if this writer's strike, we're hearing about that strike might be resolved. The United Auto Workers strike, maybe that gets resolved. Maybe there's just a little positive news to give us a short-term bounce. Ultimately, though, I think we have to resolve lower and churn this out before we have the next really nice up move in the market. So take it with a grain of salt. That's where we're at. We will continue to monitor that every day. We'll see where the SPY ends up settling. Also, obviously, today is Yom Kippur, Shana Tova, to all of those that celebrate. The other thing, we might see some reduced volume here. There might not be bigger moves in some of the bigger stocks. We'll see. The other thing is that I don't know if any of you pay attention to those adages or the seasonal things, but there's been an adage that it's sell Rosh Hashanah, buy Yom Kippur. So we'll see if that ends up taking place there. I think maybe if they do buy that, it'll be buying over several days this week. We'll see. Don't know if any of that's gonna come to play, but that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Now, there are some stocks, some of these smaller stocks that are going to give us some immediate opportunities here today. Mitch already kind of talked about it. Arnaz is going to be the first one on the list. I will say that the list of stocks, not all that great. Not all that great here today. So not a whole lot of targets, at least in the pre-market. We'll see what happens when the market actually opens. I'm sure we're going to get more opportunity there for stuff that's not moving. But Arnaz here, this is definitely one of the big ones. This was a penny stock last week. Transcode Therapeutics is the name of the company. Transcode Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company announced preclinical glioblastoma results with its lead candidate TTX-MC138. Okay, so one of their drugs getting some preclinical or getting a preclinical PR here. Keep in mind that this company does not have cash, preclinical, pre-revenue, all of that. So this is a pretty huge move here. We're up 83% here in the pre-market. I definitely don't expect this to continue for a long time. Maybe it does continue through the day. Just all I'm saying with this is be careful. This was a penny stock for a reason. Recently got a PR here, making a huge move. If you can figure out how you're going to trade this move, great. But I don't think it's going to be all roses here. Looking at some of the technicals here, we do still have some of these moving averages on, and it sure does look like these moving average cross, the 9 and the 15 cross, does provide like an entry and also an exit for it when it comes back in. So we'll see if that holds up here. Really what I'd like for this to do is pull back towards the VWAP. We got a VWAP here at 104. I think it's a little bit extended here at 120. We'll see what happens when the market actually opens and we go through the first print on this one. RNAS likely to be in play today. We will continue to take a look at this one, I'm sure, throughout the course of the day. Next on the list here is going to be BPTS. This is Biophytus, I believe. This had this recently has just been really kind of selling off. Now we get a PR here this morning. Pretty much bounces us back to balance at the highs, but we've actually traded lower than this. Still some weakness in here. Definitely want to see what the stock looks like when the market opens and the volume starts to flow into it. Biophytus shares are trading higher after the company and Sky Pharma announced the signature of partnership agreement for its production of regulatory batches of Sarconis. I don't know if I'm saying that right. For severe forms of COVID-19. So looks like a COVID PR here. Let me do this here real quick. Looks like a COVID PR here. Popped the stock back to where it was, but again, we really didn't fully get back to where we were. Looking at this, we were about at a 140, currently at 125. See how the stock reacts when the market actually opens. I see a bunch of you mentioning this one in the chat already. It is awesome. Joby. We've traded this one. This probably of all of the stocks on the list here, this one probably my favorite. Joby and Archer have given us a lot of opportunity recently. Maybe we get another opportunity here. This actually not even that extended from the VWAP. Currently at 655, I've got the VWAP at 649. Moving averages kind of tighter here. So this will be interesting. Let's see what happens with Joby. Let's see if this sets up and gives us an opportunity to trade this here today. That'd be great. The only thing that's on the list here the only thing left on the list, are going to be some of these ETFs. Those are going to move around with the market. I don't necessarily have a trade plan for any of those. I really want to see how the market reacts. Remember, I kind of think that we have a potential near-term bounce spot here, but unsure that that's going to materialize. So want to see how the market actually handles that right around the opening print here. Let's see if I missed anything from the people in the chat. Let's see. Joby, Smoke Tuna, you got eyes on that already. MD saying SCYX recalling their antifungal and halts clinical studies. That seems really bad. That's SCYX. Take a look at that. That is bad. So this stock down here. Wow. Stock down here considerably. So good call there. MD. Not in this. See, some of these stocks that really sell off, there can be a bounce play, but keep in mind that PR pretty crappy. Pretty crappy there. So we'll see. Let's see. What else am I missing in here? Amazon real estate. So that's ticker AMZN. Let's take a look at Amazon here. All right. So Amazon bounced the other day, has recently sold off, bounced on Friday in the pre-market in the morning, really kind of sold off back to the lows in the afternoon. Now we haven't breached those lows. So really for me here, day trade on Amazon, this 128 level, 128 and a half, 129. This level is the level to defend here on the downside. I think that if this doesn't get broken, it's actually potential here for a decent bounce. We've actually seen some of these stocks move pretty wild during the regular session. So I would say as long as we really don't break 129, let's start with that. Let's start with 129. We can stay above 129. Maybe Amazon bounces here today. Gives us an upside trade. So a good spot there, MD. I actually hadn't even thought about Amazon as a trade here today, but good job bringing this to our attention. We'll see if this ends up going. Born, yeah, fins up, man. You got to be pretty happy there. Team put up 70, one point shy of the record from the Washington, right? 1966. They put up 71 over the Giants. Just an absolute. For those of you that root for Miami, I know Mitch roots for Miami. You guys must have had a great.
I'm never too far when you mention the Fins.
There you go.
I'm never too far when you mention the Fins, man.
I got you.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what anyone wants to think, it's all about McDaniels. When you got the right coach, you can do a lot of good things.
Interesting piece of interesting thing to note there. Not piece of anything, but interesting thing to note there. McDaniels not even on the Bears' radar when they were going over their coaching search to look for an offensive guy to develop their quarterback. Instead, they went with Eberflus, a defensive guy, and now we can see how that's going. So. McDaniels looks like kind of a nerd, but I tell you what, dude absolutely balls out, and his team plays for him. So talk nerdy to me, I guess.
Yeah, he's a player's coach with a kind of analytics mindset. And in this day and age, that's kind of what you need, Ryan. I think, I don't need my guy to well, it depends. Like Detroit's a little bit the complete opposite, right? But it's still a player's coach. But not more an analytics guy, but more like a, old school offensive lineman coach. So I think you just need a strong coach and you need a leader. And you could clearly see those teams are being led. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go to the action out there, guys. I'm looking around to see what's going on there. Warning on instrument ICNC. Looks like something happened with that one.
Did I get the same? No, I don't have anything in my trade the pool account, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I didn't get any warning. I did hear that little thing come up there.
Yeah, it was weird. It's just like a little think in the background. I catch those. All right, guys, it's about 9:28 here. We're ready for the open, guys. What are you guys looking at out there for me? What's the small names? I need to get these ready. What are some small names, Ryan? I know that RNAZ.
Arnaz, yeah. Okay, so Arnaz, Joby, and the other one was BP. Here, hang on. Let me get it from the list here. BPTS, Bravo, Papa, Tango, Sandy, Arnaz, and then Joby. Those are the three that are on the list here today. Very, very small list. Not a whole lot going on, frankly.
Okay, so we'll look for just some action out the gates here. Of course, I'm looking at stock sale, guys. If you guys want to take a look at anything, just keep throwing up in the chat. I'll try to do my best to keep going towards those stocks and bringing up different stocks. Of course, we can keep it going, team. We got a lot more for you guys right now, and I'm going to keep battling on the day. One thing is also, and guys, I'll call for this a little bit later. You don't need to do this now, but I'm going to throw up my email. I really need your guys' feedback on what do you think we need to do more with live trading, right? Because the truth is, I always want to bring something else to the team, right? Like we do live trading right in front of you guys, show you guys everything, right? That we're going to continue doing. But do you guys want to see trader interviews? Is that what you're interested in? Do you guys want to see strategies covered? Things like this. This is what really helps us help you guys, right? Because that's what we're here for. That's what Ryan's here for. That's what I'm here for. Is to pay it forward for you guys out there. Let's get after this market. Here's the bell. Let's go and see what we can do today, team.
I heard that sound again, but I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, it's popping up in the background. It's just little pop-ups there popping up. You might just need to hit OK with them. Ryan, they're on your trade the pool, but they're like these stocks that are being somehow restricted or something happening with those stocks. Could be
back down to its VWAP here. Arnaz going, but I'm going to try and stay away from that. Yeah.
Arnaz. Okay. So what can I see on Arnaz? So daily high of I think like 155s and then maybe a turnaround. So maybe you get a little bit of a pop to 155s, but that's going to be a resistance there. And the next level from that level of that 155 would be a move to 180. So I'm just calling out levels on the daily to look to see if they act as resistance. And I could see this pop into 155s and maybe even coming right back down. It's at 154 right now. Look how it's slowed down there. Did it halted? Looks like that might have gotten halted. There it goes.
Oh, I got a warning on Arnaz.
Yep.
Now, I'm not in it. I did take some Joby here. I took Joby real small here. on this
Okay.
pop up. I actually, you know what? I used
I got
Jay
you.
Rice. If he's here, he should be scolding me. I used a market order. That's why I got the fill. We'll see on Joby here. Just 100 shares long on Joby. I'd actually like to see this break through the top. The pre-market high I've got at 667. Get a little green on the screen trade there. We'll see if Joby ends up working out here.
Stoxel heading down out the gates here. We're still getting some downside action in tech. I'm looking for some stronger names to get green again. One of the names that's really red is Tesla. It's down to a 61.8% retracement that I think is very important to watch for. That's a cut through maybe 239s and then a recovery of 240 today. I'll see if it can do that. All right, guys, looking around. I'm going to just keep watching, looking for trades out there. And we're getting a lot of trading halts today. And that's what we're seeing pop up there. So a lot of trading halts today. Smaller names probably with low volume.
Yeah, I was going to say those look like trade the pool broker warnings. Now, it's not on any of the things I'm playing, so I'm really not paying a whole lot of attention to it. But
yeah, just kind of putting it out there. Yeah,
just kind of putting it out there.
RNAS was one of those, right? It was halted. Nicola. Nicola. I can't take that stock serious at all.
Yeah, neither can I. That's my problem with it. I know it's given us some setups, but I can't take it seriously either.
Like if there's a stock that just makes you laugh, it's kind of hard to trade, right? Because I'm just literally like, I literally laugh when I hear the name.
Okay, Joby pulling back here. The low 646. I want to see how it acts, how it behaves here. Looks like it went through that low here. That's trying to bounce off that low.
Nike could be a good short. Remember, Nike's already fallen a lot and they're going into their earnings. Sometimes stocks like to go up just into the earnings and then drop down. So I'm just putting that out there that, you know, it's not that I don't think Nike could continue going down, but the earnings are coming later this week. Just be careful. XOM, one to kind of keep an eye out for. I think oil can make like one more hurrah attempt to the upside, and then it's going to start turning around because, I mean, we're going to get to the point where everyone's thinking the consumer's slowing down, right? Well, usually when you get a consumer slowdown, you get oil to start turning around. So I'm keeping a close eye to see what happens with WTI. Of course, that's what I like to follow. It's at 90.33s in that area. It went slightly below 90s today to 89.62. That's the levels I'll be watching today. Get back into the 89s going down towards like 89.50, and then I could see this cutting down. Back above 91s and 92s, oil could go maybe even 95, 100. Who knows? But for right now, I think this is range bound right now where we're going to get like 92s, 93s, and then go right back down maybe to lower 80s or high 78s. We'll see what happens.
Watching Joby at this low here.
Joe B, I'll put you up, my friend.
I added a little bit more here, but I want to see if it can hold this low pretty good for maybe another move up towards the top. We'll see. My average price at this point, 657, so I'm down a little bit here. We really get kind of like a whoosh sell candle and a lot of selling volume. I'll just cut it and wait for a better setup. By the way, you did get some instant feedback on your question here, Mitch. I want to shout this out. I think this is awesome. When you were asking what else can we bring here to live trading, Dustin answered trade setups. Dustin, I will try and do this. I will try and look through some charts. One of the big things right now is that, just, at least speaking for myself, I'm a long bias trader and the market really feels like it wants to roll over here. So I don't want to just suggest setups just for the sake of suggesting them, only to have those setups get absolutely destroyed a few days after. I want to try and bring quality here. And if I don't see quality, I'm okay saying I don't really see quality here. I don't have anything. But nonetheless, this is an excellent suggestion, and I will definitely try and work on this. Mitch, I think that you're excellent at this. I think we can probably do this.
All right, guys. Soxel above 750s now coming back and went red to green off 740s. I'm looking for pullbacks closer to 750 to start getting in Soxel to the upside. You guys know I've been trying to get after this. The only thing is, will it just take off on me? That's why I'm thinking about maybe getting some shares here, but I'm going to be slower to the name right now. There's the push that I was a little bit concerned about, that it might not come back to the 750s, 1750s. It's up there to 1767s now. 1770s I have as resistance there from a prior resistance. Let's see if it can start getting up above 1770s. And then also I'm keeping an eye on what is going green, right, in these names, right? Because that's what I'm going to definitely pay attention to. So like on the Qs, we can pay attention to see what's getting green there. The biggest green I see is PDD, GEHC. I see some booking up today. PayPal getting a little bit of a spike there. So maybe a little bit of Square sympathy bounce back. And there you guys see it. Look at Square getting a nice little bounce back. So I might not be able to get socks out now because it's already ripping and I don't want to grab 70s. But I'm going to look for something that's, pretty oversold. Like Square's at an RSI of 8. And so it could be bouncing back today. So I'm looking for pullbacks now that are going to, I'll be looking for a pullback towards 4470s here on Square.
Real quick, Joby did take that high for the day by just a couple of pennies, and then it kind of came back in there. We're still long here. This looks pretty good. Lynn was saying, Lynn, by the way, Lynn and Randy give me excellent suggestions for Benzinga Pro. Be sure to give him your email. Lynn and Randy, please CC me on that email. I'd like to see that stuff too. You should already have mine. If you ever need me to pass stuff along, I'm happy to do that as well. So just shoot me an email. I'll get it to the right person. Mitch, if you want to throw your email in the chat, that'd be awesome. Looks like Arnaz is going here.
We're getting that nice little lift off here. A lot of stocks starting to push. I'm looking for pullbacks below 1760s on Soxal to get in. But Square giving a nice little lift. Is ARM finally going to have a good day? At the end of the day, I'll be looking at ARM. I'm not going to look at it now, but I'm just looking to see if it could have a good day. Intel, the only stock that I'm swing trading, is making a little move. It looks like I had a stop set. It already hit there. I just went to go check on it right now. I already got out of Intel today, but it's having a nice little pop out the gates here. Looking for some pullback from Square. No pullbacks just yet. Just kind of pushing towards new highs. 45.17s now. I'll show you guys Square. It's a pretty strong move here. And then Soxal with a nice little push. Of course, these are stocks that I'm keeping an eye on. I'm looking for a little bit of a pullback on the Qs. Can I get a little bit of an attempt pullback? We'll see what happens there. And of course, keep your eyes on some bigger cap names to see if they start moving. Apple in the green, Microsoft in the green, Google, Amazon. Those are just some names that are in red is Tesla. Intel having a pretty decent day there, almost up a percent already. AMD
Joby,
going back to green.
Joby testing that high again here and taking it 670 new intraday high here on Joby. So that's still working here. One thing is definitely at this point, I know I don't even really have a whole lot here. I only have 200 shares total. Don't really have a lot of gains. Don't want to let this trade go red, though. I would stop this if this came back into my buy area. By the way, my average price, 657, not great. VWAP at 656. So
looking for a 35.25 pullback on the TQQQ to go long here. If I could get that, I'd risk off of like 35.15, maybe 35.10s. But looking for a little pullback here in the TQQQs. I'm seeing Apple starting to push, Microsoft pushing, Amazon pushing, NVIDIA pushing. Bigger names starting to work its way back. Tesla went towards that 239 and starting to reverse back to the 240s. 240s on Tesla, I like. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so TQQQ, I want to see it pull back to 35.25. So I'm going to send an alert at 25.35. I'm going to keep looking for some names here. So
Joby continuing to push here. Would love for this to really kind of test some of these moving averages on the daily chart. Might be too much for it here today, though. 675 your high. We'll see if we take that again.
240s, 240 like 50s seems interesting for me to start getting into Tesla on a pullback. So I'm going to look for that pullback, and then below 240s I'll add again, but I'm going to put out probably a 240.50 pullback.
Mitch, Glenn here asking for the referral code. Is that part of the QR code? Could you put the trade the pool QR code? Does that have the referral in it?
Yeah,
I'm
you
looking
can
to get
also
started
always
here.
just make it easier. Just go to the description right here on this video. It's right there. It's going to be clickable in the description, but I'm also going to throw it up in the
Okay.
chat here for you. I'm just trying to knock out this trade, get in some trades here, but I got you, of course.
Awesome. Joby again setting a new high, this time by only a penny. Really doesn't have that push through. There we go. A couple pennies more here on Joby. That's looking pretty decent, at least so far. Smoke Tuna's got a 687 spot from your technical analysis on Joby. 687, only 10 cents away from that right now.
Yeah, look at Soxel trade today, guys. Not a bad one at all there. Soxel goes right up out the gates there, guys.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Jason also saying SPY is pushing here. Jay Rice saying, Ryan, excellent call earlier on the oversold conditions. So this is kind of what I'm seeing. I still think overall the market probably comes back in, but no reason to say that we can't have a short-term bounce in the moment or in the interim right now. So did you are you? Oh no, yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think you were in that Soxel.
No, because it didn't. Damn it, pull back at the 1765 70s. I was trying to get 1750s. I just got too picky. It's already at 1806 there, but I hope somebody was at least able to nail it. The outlook was dead on, just not nailing it at all. And what's annoying me is I'm not in anything right now. And so that's not what I should be. I should already be in something, and things are not pulling back. So this is when I struggle the most to get in names, when things are just shooting off. Like I won Tesla. Now it's already a point higher than I was looking at it. So it's just like
so let's talk about that, Mitch, because this type of environment fools me as well, or wreaks havoc with my account. However you want to look at it. Yeah. You got a potential bounce here. The market's really kind of been crummy. You feel like, hey, I want to have some exposure here. I want to go after this. And you end up making a mistake. And it's like, that sucks. Like that's where I end up getting hurt. And I think that, like if we bounce here and then that bounce gets stopped and all of a sudden you've bought near the highs here, you might be in red pretty instantly. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I got a starter there on Tesla because I am at the point where I'm chasing now. So I'm going along already, but that's just because I went for the starter. But really,
for a pullback.
I mean, 240s, 50s is where I should have originally entered or looked for pullback entry. So I'm definitely going above the VWAP, which I normally don't do. Normally, I don't buy above VWAP, but I'm going to go ahead and do it this time. I'm battling on Tesla, just trying to get in. So I'm going after that one. Of course, you guys can look for other ones that pull back. Netflix starting to pull back there. Microsoft pulling back. PDD, China names seem strong here. So keep your eyes on those names. Baba starting to pull back. Just watching at that. JD now starting to pull back there. Tesla just holding in the VWAP right now. VWAP is around 240.86. It just bounced off of that. Let's see if it takes 242. I have the barest, tiniest starter there. I want to get a bigger add, but needs to pull back some. If it just shoots off here, I at least wanted a starter there. Microsoft is below VWAP. That's kind of more like an entry that I look for.
Penny stock AVTX going. I'm not even touching it. Just figured we'd mention it.
All right, guys. I just got out of Tesla there just for the literally like cents loss there. Just paid for the commissions because I have a feeling Tesla still gives me that pullback closer towards the 240s here. And I don't want to be battling it if it comes back to 240s and then adding into the loss. So I'm looking for more of my original entry, which is 240.50s. I'd rather get out of there like a little algo and just take the tiniest just paying loss. Literally, I paid just 150 in commission, lost 290 there. So $2.90. That's nothing. I'm getting out of it right now. I'm looking for a little bit of a deeper time frame pullback. I need a pullback. Can't be just chasing here.
Joby on a bit of a pullback here. If this continues, we'll just make sure the trade won't go red. We'll see if it's got another move towards the highs here on Joby.
Why don't I buy above VWAP? Because I look for these quick pullbacks a lot of the times. And I'm looking for quick pullbacks to try to get in on a closer risk to reward. So where the risk is closer and the reward is bigger, 3-1, 4-1 outlook. A lot of times when I buy above VWAP, what am I playing? I'm playing a lot of 2-1 outlooks, and I don't like 2-1 outlooks. There's Oxel continuing to the upside there at 18.12. So even the buy at 17.70s would have been already up about 40 cents higher. So struggled on that buy today. Should have been buying right out the gates through 17.50s. Bad execution on my part at the gates today. XLI higher, good also. So you're seeing a big lift in industrials. So keep your eyes on that action. Deer is actually near the VWAP, so that could maybe get a nice little lift off after getting hit hard last week. Boeing, how's that? That's on lift off there, guys. So 197.50s. Boeing getting a nice little push today. So that was big red. Now getting a nice little push higher. UPS strong there. So FedEx maybe making them up move today. And there you guys see it. FedEx with a big move up, back up there. And it looks like kind of like a little gap up that's holding in. Could start testing towards new highs. Back up there towards like 267 and then 268. So FedEx really strong today.
Joby trying to bounce here. It did come into its 9 EMA, by the way, smoked tuna. And trying to bounce. We'll see if we can take that high off. 679, the high spot intraday. Dave, good morning, Dave. Happy Monday. Nice to see you again. Dave saying, look for a SPY rejection of 430.50. We're currently at 430 even on the SPY. So got another 50 cents there before the possible rejection point. Appreciate that, Dave. Love that you're giving that to us before we get there, too. Absolutely love that.
McDonald's going lower, part of restaurants. I expect to keep seeing restaurants like that take hits. So look for maybe things like that to continue going down.
Penny stock Kano going wild here. If you know, you know. But I'm not going to trade this one. Penny stock 27 cents. This thing up 4 cents here today. Big move on Kano. Not going to take that, though. Still watching Joby. Still in and watching Joby. Would love to see the highs get taken out. Looks like the rain's coming here in Chicago. It's just overcast. Joby, a little knife here. See if this holds or bounces.
Stocks pulled back a little bit there, but it's still holding in, at least Tesla above VWAP. So I'm looking for that pullback, but we might not even get it today. It might just be a ramp up. Microsoft is still down. That's the only one I could see like catching a little bit of lag. Meta, Amazon, pretty strong here. Nvidia, pretty strong. Just to mention those. ARM's starting to get strong. 51, at least on intraday, right? I'm not talking about it on the daily, but at least on the intraday, it is starting to get a little bit strong here. Maybe pullbacks to like 50-50 or below the trend line. So I'll show you guys that in a second. Probably not going to get Tesla here, but ARM's trying to get up here through 51s. That's being pretty strong right now. That 51.20s.
Wham Trader saying going short on Nvidia. Careful with that one. I'm still watching Joby here, Mitch. I don't want to take this off until I close this here. But Nvidia, just I don't know where that's necessarily going to stop. It feels like shorting it right here, you're kind of getting in front of a momentum move. But again, if you have spots here, let's see. I'm going to try to take a look at the 15-minute chart and see if I can give you a spot. Maybe right here, maybe up a little bit closer towards 427 on Nvidia. Anyway, keep us posted on that one. A couple of people mentioning Neo. Neo was down today in the pre-market on that offering, saying it's bouncing now. Yeah, actually, Neo, decent bounce in the pre-market. Now a bounce in the regular session here too. If we can clear out 831, maybe Neo goes higher here. Joby going higher. Let's go. Still didn't clear out that high. 2 cents away from that high. Let's see if we can get it here on Joby. SSYS, decent morning here on low volume. Jay, I'm still in that, waiting for that decision, by the way. We'll see. Fingers crossed, buddy.
Boeing holding 197. I'm just taking a look at it.
All right, new highs here for Joby as we do go through that 679. So this is moving nicely. Hey, what are you doing, man? Oh, okay. Joby, with these new highs that it keeps doing, what I'd really like, I want to see a punch, right? I want to see a punch through the high and then a decent move above that high to really kind of confirm some of the momentum. One of the things that I'm not getting here, we're setting these new highs, which is great, but it's only by a cent or two, and then it's coming back in. Really doesn't have the big momentum move that I want it to have. And just we're going to have to make sure that don't give any of this back.
Oil is trying to go higher right here. I'm wondering if it's going to keep going higher. Looking at BTU also. It's just such a slow mover. I don't want to go after it right now. CEIX, AMR looking better there. Basic materials going higher. Chemicals going higher. Energy is taking lead now. The upside, oil pushing. Trying to look when we get this technology pullback here. Still haven't gotten it.
Market bounce holding in here so far. Plug moving to highs here. Plug 764 here on Plug. Was there any news on Plug? No. Yeah, okay. HBC initiates coverage, price target 11 on Plug. That's all I see here for today. Plug moving to highs. Still watching Joby here.
ARM staying strong, guys. I think that's one thing to kind of keep an eye out for. That could drive NVIDIA. Looking for like a nice little tech pullback here. Intel pulling back. That looks pretty interesting off 34. That's just slow mover too. Apple looking like it wants to take 175 here. We'll see if it does take 175. A lot of support underneath that at like 174.
Hi. I know, you're so soft. You're so soft. We've brushed you so much this weekend. Arnaz moving to the highs. Joby moving to the highs again. All right. This is exactly what we needed here. Come on, Joby. Can we take this high off again? 683, your high spot.
ARM staying strong, guys, for right now at least. It's up to 5150.
Hey. Cat's just Becca says hi, buddy. Yeah, Becca, he's just trying to cause trouble here this morning. He's trying to interfere with this Joby trade any way he can. 682 your high here on Joby. Let's see if we can pop the top.
He's just taking off for right now.
Yeah, that bounce is strong on the Qs. That's not giving it up here. SPY 430.50 right now. Is this the spot where we kind of reverse? This would have been the stop spot on the pre-market. We went through that now.
Yeah, this is where it just gets frustrating and you feel the FOMO. So definitely feeling the FOMO here, and I'm just like annoyed that I didn't take positions already. That's how I know I'm feeling the FOMO. Oil going higher. BTU took off about 10 cents, but that's not really a big push. Looking for some stocks to pull back, but nothing's pulling back right now.
Joby pulling back. Nasty pull here on Joby. 664, the view app I got on my broker. GDHG halted down. Becca, that was one of the warnings that we were getting here in Trade the Pool. So that stock obviously extremely volatile still.
Cannabis stocks moving today?
Haven't checked them yet. Yeah, I guess we could do that.
They're moving. Though. They're moving. MSOS up from around 825 to 872. That's a nice move.
Hillray up here today. Let's check Sundial. That's ticker SDNL.
Yeah, they're moving. They're moving with the market, I think. I think the market is helping them right there, right?
CGC up 8%. Joby bouncing, by the way, after this knife. CGC up here. Let's check ACB as well. So your basket there. Yeah, your basket of cannabis stocks moving higher here. That was a good call.
Looking for a quick sweep down and arm to get long it, but I needed to sweep down, come back really quickly, and then I'll try to get long it on pullbacks, and then got to risk off the low.
So the big trade that looks like most of the chat is in here is this RNAS trade. So sorry, I'm in Joby, trying to stick to something I feel a little bit more comfortable with. RNAS here, this thing really strong. What this really needs for a new trade here is a pullback. You could see we didn't quite get to the VWAP, but when on this first initial rush, we stopped right here about 175-ish, pulled back to the 9 EMA. So Smoke Tuna, you were talking about a 9 EMA pullback on I believe Joby earlier. RNAS pulled back to that 9 EMA, took another leg back to the 9 EMA, another one. We've had 1, 2, 3 pullbacks to the 9 EMA to all resolve higher here. I think eventually this is going to have to pull and shake out some of the weak hands. Just what I see here. No position for me, though. Trade your plan, folks. Today. Trade your plan.
RNAS halting again?
RNAS halted.
There you go.
Yeah, that is RNAS halted 195. That is the highs here. By the way, Andy Travel, RNAS sold at 180. Awesome job. Looks like a couple of you did make some money here on RNAS. Smoke Tuna giving you an RNAS spot here, potential spot 225 to the upside here if RNAS keeps moving. Again, the way for the trader in me wants to see a pullback here at RNAS so that we can actually get a better entry. We'll see if we end up getting that. The trader here is in Joby, though, and has to sit around. That's been the painful, kind of waiting for this to resolve here. This pull, thankfully, met with buyers. We'll see if we go ahead and take the highs off here again.
Microsoft now starting to go through VWAP, so it could just kind of take off here, and then that could be the last one that hasn't taken off that is starting to catch up. But man, no pullback so far in tech names so far, and at least we were in the right thinking, I think, Ryan and I today on tech names to bounce, but I'm not taking part in this action, so definitely struggling there on execution.
Jay was saying here, Dennis this morning, Triple D, said in the pre-market, everyone was bearish coming into today. And I could totally get that, especially given last week, right? I totally see that. looking at charts here, said that looked like there could be a short-term bounce spot. Now the question is, how long does this bounce last, right? Do we bounce all day today? Do we carry this bounce into tomorrow? My guess would be no, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I would guess no. Joby here, speaking of bouncing, let's see if we can get back to the highs here on Joby. Dave saying, I don't go long in downtrends. Dave, that probably keeping you safe then. That seems like a good way to play things, right? Don't go long during a downtrend. Wait for that trend to be your friend if you're doing a long side trade. Yeah, Jason saying maybe long after a pullback. I don't know. Are you talking about the market overall? Are you talking about Arnaz here? I mean, frankly, they both could apply.
Sucks hell. You want to pull back? It's starting to. I like it back down to 1760s, 1750s. At 1780s here. So it's starting to get to that level here. There's a little bit of a sweep down.
Levy calling it nice here. Pull in the SPY. We are seeing that. So is this bounce done? Or is this just a breather in the bounce? I think that's what we're waiting on here.
Also watching ARM on pullbacks. There's a nice sweep on ARM. In a second, I'm going to start getting long some ARM. I want to get to 51s here.
So, Carmen, interesting question here. I think it's possible to be in an uptrend now as folks are now thinking that the Fed is done raising rates. So this is an interesting question that Carmen brings up here. I see. I'm not in this camp, but I understand this argument. To me, don't we still have, didn't Powell tell us that we still have at least one more rate hike this year to go? I understand where the market might be saying, hey, we don't really believe you. Stuff's breaking. Maybe you're not going to. No, we just got a pause here. But are we out of the woods yet? And is that uptrend banking on us having cuts, right? One of the other things Powell said is higher for longer. I know that there are people anticipating cuts in 2024. I would be a little skeptical of that. Certainly don't see them until the end of 2024. It is an interesting discussion point, though, Carmen.
That it is indeed.
Yeah, Johan saying inflation is not done as long as oil keeps going up. I agree. I don't think inflation is done either here. Pull back here on Joby. 665. I'm actually going to put a stop in here because I just don't want this to come back in. I was hoping this was going to go higher here, but maybe it's not ready to do that yet. Maybe. We'll see. 665 going to be the stop point on the downside. In fact, let me go ahead and place that here, Mitch.
I got you. I'm going to go ahead up and focus here on ARM. I'm going to start getting some starter entries here. All right, I'm going to get a starter here at 5110s, but I do want to add more in ARM. So I've got a starter there. Looking for below 51s to add more towards like 50-50. Arnaz, I think, might have halted on the downside action, maybe. Not sure. I'm not watching it.
I'm going to pull it up in a separate window so I can actually watch both, so I don't have to go back. No, Arnaz halted to the upside, 219.
Oh!
Halted up again.
Savage. All right, bouncing off this 51 area, so I'm going to put in a slight order at 50, like 85.
Oh, man.
Here.
Jay Rice, did you not call the uraniums at the beginning of this show? I could have sworn I saw a post from you. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, that's a good play right now.
Oh, man. CCJ UEC, at highs here.
UEC is another one, right?
Didn't he go for this? Somebody called this.
A couple of uranium stocks moving right now.
And I didn't listen to any of it. Man, that's my own fault. Big
play out there.
Yeah, it's my own fault.
Big play out there right now. Another way to play this is maybe Rio. So Rio tried to get a little bit of a pop today. That doesn't look too bad, but needs to start coming back today.
Yeah, Jay Rice. This is the comment, man. This was early too. This was before the. This was right after. Yeah, this was a great comment. Uranium still bid in a sea of red. LEU, CCJ, Eura. You could add triple U or quadruple U to that. Man, Jay. Yeah, you have been. I know you have been talking about this for a while, but it was today. Today that move looking really huge. Good stuff, Jay. Should have been listening to you on that one. Should have been listening to you on that one. Jay's a sharp guy. Jay brings us a lot of ideas here in the chat. Excuse me.
All right, watching the get in ARM and stock sell on pullbacks. I have limit orders out there. Just need to start seeing a little bit more pullback here in ARM to add and add. See if I can do it today, guys. Stock sell at like 1780s. Looks already interesting. I want a slight tick down here going towards 1760s, 1750s. Then I could start getting into stock sell. Don't want to get into that one too above where I would have got in before. But 65s and 70s was that entry. So let's see if I can get in below that entry and then look for the ride right back up. See what happens. I got ARM. What are you guys taking a look at? Going for a walk here to see what's happening. Only have one position in FL. All right. I like to see that, Jan. And sometimes a walk is all you need. So go enjoy that walk. I'll see you when you get back. All right. Here's a little bit of a pullback. Got to sneeze for a second. All right, guys. Let's see what happens here. ARM pulling back. I got my second entry. I got 50.98s now. Now looking to get the second, third, and final entry at like 50.50. I can even add a little bit more off of that. I did get SOXL to start going back down into a level that I can maybe get it here. It's at 75s. It did pull back a little bit. I'm looking for a little bit more pullback and then the rip up. So a test down on the Qs below VWAP to like 357s. Tesla pulling back now a little bit. We'll see what happens on the bigger boys. They're starting to pull back. Let's see if I can get some entries on these pullbacks. ARM, I like how it's holding around the 50-90s. That's around the VWAP. That looks good.
Born talking about CVX calls. Born, you in those, or was that a continuation of one of Mitch's oil trades?
The oil trades are nice right now. Those things were going strong. The leading sector to the upside. I will say that. Oil names staying strong. Coal names staying strong too. AMR with a nice little move. Ooh, this one looks a nice little move. Arch. Yeah, this coal names doing pretty well.
I just pulled up the chart for that GDHG. Mitch, is that even in Trade the Pool? Can you you have an open trade there? Yeah, that's me too.
I'm focused right now.
Yeah, that's I don't want to do it.
What's the ticker?
I'll do it. GDHG Golf Delta Hotel Golf. Yeah, it is in Trade the Pool. That thing, man. This is the type of stuff that here. I'll go ahead and share mine, Mitch, real quick. Ooh. This is the type of stuff not even worth trading. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me if this is the type of stuff that you like to trade. This scares me. I look at a chart like this and I say to myself, Ryan, there's no way that you would have traded that correctly. You would have screwed this up. You would have longed on that. You would have chased. Then you would have held through the drop down on the back side of it. Now I would be a bag holder. So I don't know. It's trade tickers like this, movement like this. I'd rather just stay away from it and go to something that's a little bit easier to trade.
I can't blame you.
Yeah. Wow. On that.
All right, guys, trying to add here close to 50-50 here on ARM. StoxL's close to my entry here if it could pull back, but it's holding above the 670 spot. So I might have to get it above a little bit higher if I want my first entry here. So I'm going to take my first entry on StoxL here. I can get it back to 78 here. I'll get filled. Let's do 78. It's doing a little pullback attempt here. Might get that attempt down here. There's 77s. I'll be patient with Soxal. I'm gonna go focus on ARM.
I think I'm probably going to get stopped on Joby, by the way. It looks like it's coming back in.
Focusing on ARM here, guys. Soxal, it would be like now or never. And so I don't want to be in two positions that can wipe me out at the same time. So I'll go for a deeper pullback for Soxal on the buy. If I don't get filled on Soxal, I'll let it go. But I do want ARM also. So just trying to focus on the faster mover, which is ARM. But it does look good because it's right off the VWAP on Soxal. So this is not looking bad there. I kind of like the pullback. I like how the Q's pulled back, bounced off of VWAP. We'll see if we go higher now.
Crow says, Ryan, sometimes you don't know this is how it will end up. Could have been Arnaz. Well, if I was trading Arnaz in my trade the pool account, I likely would have had trouble, right? Because it's got all these restrictions.
All right, added there on ARM. Now have 60 shares of ARM at 50.95, guys. Let's see what happens today. This one's a fast mover, guys. This is a pretty decent size position now. What about Fubo? What about it? Tell us what's up. Microsoft strong move. That's interesting to see. Yeah, strong move, guys. Nice catch there. Of course, we were talking about how this was lagging a little bit. Now this is starting to lead. Apple's was leading earlier. Let's see if Apple goes another move higher. Tesla was starting to pull back. Let's see if that can make another move higher through 245. Nvidia was a pretty strong move earlier in the day. That's kept strong. You can see that right now. So now I'm going to look to see these tech names start to lift here and see if we can get a nice little takeoff. Soxal still at the 1780s there. We'll see what happens. It doesn't look too bad off the 1780s here. If it's really going to have a nice little up day, I wouldn't mind to try to take it here. But you know what? I had my order out at the 53s. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to cancel it for right now. If it does pull back really quickly, I'll try to grab it. But I'm just going to focus on ARM.
I was stopped out of Joby, by the way.
All right, no worries.
I was stopped out of it for a gain. To be clear, it was a small gain, but it was a gain. So, I mean, instead of getting stopped out for a loss on something that didn't work, it ended up stopping out for just a short gain real quick. By the way, Williams-Sonoma, ticker WSM, popped rumors of activist in WSM right there. This is up pretty big here today, though.
Nice little bounce there on Soxal. I'm looking to see if it's going to take 18. A lot of people playing that. I could see a lot of people playing that right now. I can't blame them for playing it. Now I'm just looking to see what's going to continue getting the lift here. Looking around, energy staying strong, that's for sure. Industrials could bounce here. That's and one area that I'm going to take a look at for maybe a potential trade here. XLI has been so weak lately that it could start to bounce here. It's at an extreme RSI, so definitely oversold. It's right off the VWAP right now, so taking a look here. Boeing was really strong earlier. That had pulled back. That's also pretty weak now. XLI.
Arnaz open. I'm going to pull it up in trade the pool, but I'm not going to trade this one. This thing is just wild. 271, man, just a massive move. Congrats to all of you that hit this one. Arnaz should halt here. See.
All right, guys.
Oh,
I think a buy here on Deere. Buy on Deere, 20 shares, 30.80, 27. Risk is 30.78, $2. It's about $40 in risk here, a little bit over. I'm gonna look for a nice little trade here on Deere to the upside. What you got, Ryan?
No, I was just I was thinking that the warnings that we keep getting in trade the pool, are those just when the stock gets halted?
Yes.
Okay, so the language is different than what we're used to, but it's basically just a halt. By the way, Williams-Sonoma continuing to move off that activist rumor. up an entire point here. Arnaz halted. Smoke Tuna saying MLGO back in action. Let's take a look at MLGO here. Coming right back up to that VWAP. We'll see.
All right, Q's back to the highs. I'm looking for ARM to start taking back to the highs also. I might even add one more time, but that's definitely risky. But I don't mind if it's slightly below 51s. Give me an attempt here to like 50, 80s. I'll add one more time down there. It's looking good with the Qs and NVIDIA going higher now, 425s. Can Microsoft
13
keep going? Take
sorry.
the high.
13 asking Ryan, EYPT, interesting to you at all down here? You know what, 13, this was a great swing trade. We have first entry here was in the high sevens. We took this to what, 15, 14? Nice move in EYPT. I'm all out of it right here. I'm actually waiting a little bit. I'd like for this to come back into a 7 handle, maybe even a 5 handle before I'd add. I'm not looking to add right here. Let me get you that information. So, real quickly here, Jay saying WSM, that's ticker Williams Sonoma. Short interest is rather high, I think. To Jay's point, let me get it on the screen here. Short interest in Williams Sonoma, excuse me, as of September 12th, 18.76% of its float shorted. 6 days to cover. Look what's happening on Williams Sonoma since that rumor. Okay, we've talked about it right in here, about 150. Up almost 2 points. We were above 2 points here. This moving on some decent volume. We'll see how long this actually lasts for, but this moving here. That's high. Yes, it is, Jay. And for me, the big concern here is going to be the days to cover, right? 6 days to cover. Stock that trades on average 1 million shares a day. I don't know, man.
We're getting some pullbacks, guys. Be careful out there.
Putting you up,
Pullback
Mitch.
coming in. Pullback coming in here, guys. So I'm putting my limit just slightly below the support. So just in case it wants to do a little bit of a wick entry here, it'll give me that wick entry. I'm willing to build up the position there on ARM. I've already set the risk there on Deer, so I don't got to stress too much about that trade. That's the setup here. Nice 3-to-1 outlook. If it starts to rip to the upside, I think it could get all the way up back towards 385. It was at 400 last week, so there's no reason why I can't do that. And I kind of like the way this setup is on the day. If it gets back to 383.63, that's a rule of 3 breaking and then could go higher. So that's what I'm playing that one for. All right, let's keep it going, team. Let's see what else is going on. NVIDIA shorter. Be careful. We'll see. Like always. I mean, at the end of the day, if you think that's a short from here, hey, it could keep breaking down. There just could always be pops to get into. That's why I like, let's say, going long on weakness and short on strength. But hey, to each his own. That $3 level on Arnaz, damn, it's already almost a 3. They got moving today. All right, ARM pulled back there towards that kind of 50-80s, right? I couldn't get my entry there, but it wasn't a bad outlook there for the 50-80 add. So I could add right here at 51s if I wanted to take a bigger shot in ARM today. I'm going to try to get a slightly lower entry than my entry, which is 50-95s. If I could get maybe like 85s here, I'll take it. There, it's already back to 5102, 5095. So I'm stepping up to the plate here at 5085s, trying to add some more. Soxel, what's doing that? What's on that? That pulled back. Now the Qs are pulling back a little bit. Where's the SPY? SPY's at the VWAP. We could get one more attempt to the downside of the range and then see the upside move. So that's why I want to be slow to the move and then get bigger and bigger. Amazon was hot earlier, now pulled back. So just one to kind of keep an eye out. That's 130 pullback that I'd look for, 129, 60s, somewhere in between there. It looks interesting. So I could see a little bit more pullback in that one. NVIDIA still up at 425s. That pullback looks interesting around 420s. Just my levels, guys. You guys call your own shots, like always, your own levels. That's what you need to build up, your own decision-making skills. All right, ARM, are we going to take lead? What's up? So I'm now at the point where I'm going to add if it pulls back. But should I jump up and try to ruin my average? No. At least in my outlook, I don't want to jump up here, 51.10. Because if I do that, I start like what? Going up to the top of the end of the range. And I'm a bull at the top end of the range, not where I like to be. I like to be a bull at the bottom end of the range. So that gives me ability to risk off the lows, right? So right here is where I'm like, okay, on pullbacks, I'll add because I can risk off the lows, but I don't want to add, let's say, towards like 51.50s. I want this thing to take off and go to like 52, 53. And that's the only reason why I'm in here. So it's kind of like a takeoff trade. We'll see if we get it here. Deer going into the green. Can that get a nice little takeoff back through the 380s? We'll see what happens. So I'm in an industrial and in technology play. They're both sectors that are in the green right now. Looking to see those go higher. A part of me went for deer because I like the XLI trade. And then I'm also looking at like Boeing to see what happens with it today. You see Boeing going lower, and this was looking a little bit more like a trap because it's just a falling knife. So I left that one alone. I went for more the deer trade that could keep going back. I mean, this had been one of the hot stocks. It pulled back with some ratings, and those ratings sometimes get a little extreme, and it is on an extreme RSI move. So deer on the daily, you can see it here turning around a little bit. Really wanted to get back through like 383. That's the move I'll be watching for. Let's go back to ARM. Deer still in the green. This is hanging out at 51s with a 5086 there. I'm going to lower this ad here because we could go slightly below that ad, and I don't mind getting it a little bit lower, right? If I could get that ad in the 70s, I'll take it. But I see it pulling back right now. See the Q's pulled back a little bit there. 357 test. I think we might even get to like 356.80s, but I wouldn't want to see like, let's say 356 show up on the Q's. This gives us an attempt to maybe get a lower SOXL entry. I just hit VWAP. It's just holding on VWAP. That's actually a good sign for me. The algos, I think, are holding up SOXL off VWAP. And why? Because it's in a volume average price. Everyone can see it. Everyone can calculate that price. I'll show you guys that right now. SOXL. Boom, boom. You can see how it's just holding in right around the 1780s. There's definitely some algo defend right there. Now the question is, will it go through the 1770s? Back down the 1760s, I might even take it. Just need to see ARM go deep into the green. ARM starting to go into the green there. Deer starting to go in the green. So I definitely have some trades out there. Now I just need to start seeing the stocks take off. We'll see if we get him.
Sydney saying sprinkled in Hyde Park, raining near you. Yeah, actually, it was overcast. There's definitely some rain on the ground, although I do see the clouds look like they're clearing to the west, Sydney. So we'll see. Definitely rainy here. It has not affected any of my services, thankfully.
I will say that Apple's going and pulling back pretty fast here. We'll see if it does catch a bounce around 174.50s. Not the next level is around 174, and that could be going lower.
Nice call on the 430. Whoever said it earlier, I believe that was 13. 13, please confirm that. I think we've called this bounce and the levels correctly today. Really impressive stuff. Arnaz open here, popping towards 299 year high. See if it goes. There's 3 prints and a through 304 high. Arnaz going to halt here at 304 if this holds.
Arnaz.
This is wild, dude. Here, I'll bring it up. So not in this one. Played Joby instead, which was kind of crappy. Hey, this is just how it goes. Arnaz halted again.
Savage, that stock.
Oh, was it Dave? I'm sorry, guys. I I should just not say anything. I should just not say anything and let the person who called it mention it, because I mix it up too often. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to short you, Dave. I thought that was 13 given the spots. Sorry, 13. My fault.
Come on.
Nice
Hit
job,
50,
Dave.
70 right quick, and then I'll take more of ARM. Trying to add more to ARM here. I'm still seeing that we could get this nice up move. SPY's bouncing off 357. That's kind of the level I kind of like there. Stocktel still hanging in there. Nvidia up there at 422. ARM's still hanging in.
David asking, no, my movers is having an issue right now. That's why I'm over here talking to the development team, trying to get that resolved. I'm sorry.
TQQQ pulling back pretty fast there. Might take a shot on that. Yeah, I'm taking a little shot on that one. I could risk off the lows here. I'm going to risk like $21 off the 35.10s. I move back up towards the highs, the 35.80s. I'll sell it there for about $50. So it's about 20 for 50 here. That's not the worst. I'm going to go for that TQQQ. ARM still looking good here. I'm canceling my ads for ARM because I have 3 trades on now. Just want to start seeing ARM get into my favor. I can add right here at 51 for the pop, but I still have to see the Qs start to lead a little bit. Just want to see the Qs just make a quick up move here. That's setting up. That's already starting to make a move here. I'm going to step up to the plate, guys. Really stepping up here. I just added some more on ARM. I got 80 shares now. That's me stepping up. I'll tell you that right now, guys. This could go good or bad for me. Like always, you guys choose your own levels, your own calls, but I'm taking a shot here. We'll see what happens. Like to see this candle go red to green on the 5-minute. We got about 2 minutes, a minute 30 for that.
Yeah, real quick. Smoke Tuna saying called BPS above VWAP. This was another great call. Real quickly here, the Smoke Tuna was talking about this right in here, about $1.20 ish. We're at $1.40 now. Big rip through VWAP here. Awesome job, Tuna. Going back to you, Mitch.
Nice. Deer up a pretty good amount now to 381. Is going to let that keep going. Of course, I'm up almost about $1 on that one. Just going to let that keep working. 20 shares for me on Deers is still a lot of money, right? I mean, it's 380. So we'll see what happens there. TQQQ and look for this to get back up there to 35.80s. Let's see if we can get that to bounce. Dun, 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 dun. Taking a shot today, guys. It's all we can do sometimes. All right, guys. So you guys see at the top, and you guys see us using Trade the Pool, looking at everything here and taking 3 positions on. So definitely smash the like for that. If you guys want to go ahead and get some of these packages, look and get up to a crazy amount. I mean, $260,000 in buying power. Trade more than 12,000 stocks and ETFs, including the penny stocks today, like the Ripper. What was that ticker? It was R. What was it?
RNAZ. Romeo Nancy Alpha Zulu.
What a ripper, guys. And that's just available just as much. So now you can swing trade as well. I've taught you guys how you can do that. You guys got to use the overnight buying power limits. But as long as you're holding those limits, you can swing trade here also. So my swing traders out there, check it out, guys. That's actually my best trade. Was when I used like a tenth of probably the buying power and did a swing trade and was still able to make a killer trade there on DraftKings. You always got to learn from that, right? SE taking off again. Yeah, that one's super strong today. I don't know what's going on with SE, but big push.
I don't understand your comment, Alva. Benzinga boss, what else are you guys riding? They say it's billions in trades. Foods will spoil. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Don't understand what you're asking.
Man. That's just how it goes. Sometimes
Brian,
people don't make
effort.
sense. All right, we'll see what happens here, guys. Getting a pullback on ARM. I'm looking for 50-63s to hang in here. I'm looking for the push up on the Qs. The Qs are dragging a little bit, but still no takedown. So I'm looking to see if that can bounce back. SPY is dragging a little bit too. It's back down below VWAP. Want that not to break 429s. I'm really looking for it to hold like 429.17, 429.15s and get back to the upside. I'm taking my shot. Let's see what happens. Let's go focus on ARM. That's danger. Pulling back right now to 50-50s. Definitely don't want that to go through the lows today. That's 50-10s. Dun, 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 dun. Boring today, Jason? Hey, sometimes you're going to get a lot of action. Sometimes there's not going to be too much. And sometimes you'll feel it's boring, and then others will be like, I thought this was a crazy day. Like if you traded SC today, I'm sure you'd ask those traders, and they'd be like, yeah, that was a pretty crazy ride. That's been a monster move today. NVIDIA staying strong. Amazon pulling back, now getting a little bit of a lift. Rivian getting a little bit of a push up here. SPXU, Ford bouncing back on the day. XPEV starting to bounce back. XLE staying strong. Oil still fighting back, man. Oil's been strong. KRE has been strong today. That tells us something, right? The SPY could stay strong as long as financials and some of the other sectors don't go to the red. Technology still green, right? That I noticed. Utilities in the red, basic materials in the red. We get a little bit of a bounce here in the Qs. ARM back up through 51. So that's not looking too bad, guys. A little part of me feels like stepping up more to the plate. And maybe I would. But to tell you the truth, that's a high-pressured situation if I keep adding. So I'm just going to sit back, relax, and look to see if I nailed the ARM trade today, guys. How will you guys find out more about this? Well, keep up with me, guys, on my other show. It seems like a lot of you guys either have the day off after this or are just not catching it. So I want to see you guys today start swing trade 3:30 p.m. Eastern as I go through all the action of my trades and more. Don't miss that, guys. TQQ starting to move. ARM starting to move. Can we get the Qs to take off here? 357. 83s. You guys feel the excitement. I'm feeling it. Let's see what happens here as the Qs start to push. Of course, I got the TQQQ, with the leverage style trade here. Of course, you guys know the SQQQ probably, but I'm just doing the opposite of that, right? So we'll see if this can push off through the 3580s. I will take that nice little $50 trade there and at least give myself a nice cushion for the day and then keep looking for the bigger swings on ARM and Deere. Let's see what happens today. This one's actually deeper into the green right now, the TQQQ. All right. The volume's so low today. No way this rally lasts. I think I agree with that, Jason. I think Ryan and I also think that this rally doesn't last, but could it last for the intraday? I think so. Right? Could it last for today? Yeah, I think Ryan and I think it could maybe last for today. But like Ryan and I think Ryan even said it earlier that he thinks maybe tomorrow it starts to crack again. And so things like that, right? It's the Max Payne trade. That's what I'm thinking. The Max Payne right now wouldn't be, I think, for the Bears to get more on the short side. What do you think, Ryan? Oh, you're on mute somehow.
Oh, yeah. So here, sorry. Let me go back to Benzinga
gotcha.
Pro here. By the way, Dave Lynn, if you're out there, it looks like all that stuff was just a hiccup and is resolved. All of those services appear to be working. Movers and all that stuff. So looks like just kind of a brief thing there. Anyway, going back to the SPY here. Yeah, I wouldn't, Mitch, to be quite honest with you, I don't even know if we need to wait till tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if whatever bounce we attempted here today was just kind of met with selling. So far, that looks like that's what's happening. Arnaz opened, went higher, halted to downside 304. So that was 4 upside halts, I think. Now 1 downside halt. Anyway, getting back to the SPY here. Wouldn't be surprised. It looked like we were due for a bounce. The $64,000 question is always going to be, how long does that bounce stick around? I don't have an answer for you. I wouldn't be shocked if we gave it back here today. But to Jason's point here about the volume being low, volume has been low for a long time. So if there's any type of selling volume that starts to ramp up, yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I don't think the rally lasts either. I think it probably continues to roll over. We'll see what happens as the day unfolds here. I would say if I had to guess here, I would say that we don't go green today. I don't know if that's even like a what are we at here on the SPY? We're at what? We're just about red green. We're just about even. So I would say that we probably stay red today, even in the face of this bounce. We'll see. Yeah, see, Lynn saying the same thing. I agree with you, Ryan. The instinctual feel is that the market is a big yawn. That's kind of what I think too, right? I think that these bounces, they feel short-lived. They don't feel like they're really, like anything's changing, right? Like there's nothing in the macro picture that's changing. It just seems like kind of a short-lived technical bounce. That's where I'm at right now, just from observing the price action. If things change, I'll let you know, but that's where I'm at right now. Mitch, going back to you.
Yeah, opening price 431.94. We'd have to make ways back to that price, right? For the day overall, right? Can we get back to Friday's close? That's going to be an important outlook too. I'll be watching that 430.38s. So get through that 430.38s, get through 431s here, and we could go higher. I'm betting on the upside. You guys see it. We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens here, guys. Deer pulling back a little bit on me. See what happens on that deer. Still watching ARM, of course. ARM is moving up and down. It made a spike there to 51.32s and then came right back down. And it was from pretty much 50-50. So let's see what happens if this could really take off. I think a big thing's going to be just watching the TQQ.
Ryan, this is why I love golf. In April, I followed a kid around for 4 holes, literally walking down the fairways with him. This Friday, he's playing in the Ryder Cup. Cool. Who is that? Let's take a look at that. That is pretty cool, though. That is pretty cool.
Hey, I'm just more concerned that you're following kids.
Mitch. Jay, DM me. I'll give you Mitch's address. You can go settle it with him.
I mean, I didn't set myself up with that one. Jay always gets me, bro. He set himself up with that one.
You guys do bust each other back and forth.
I got to mess with him sometimes.
Oh, Ludwig Aberg. Okay, he's good, man. Aberg's good. Let me tell you.
You see, Andy
Aberg
got
is
that
good.
one. I got him. Jason said, yeah, as a parent, that's very concerning. Laugh out loud. The golf course, man. There's the vultures out there.
By the way, really quickly on EYPT, let me go back to pro here. This Williams-Sonoma move keeps moving to the high. This is where we talked about that rumor, right under 150. We got almost 3 full points here on Williams-Sonoma. That thing was good. Guys. Jerome Powell. I was going to say, are you getting a storm warning? Because I recognize that sound. That's effing hilarious. I'm not getting that.
It's an Amber Alert, so we'll try not to make it sound too funny, but yeah. Jerome Powell hitting me up now.
Okay, well, you also made Lynn Williams spit her coffee out on her computer, so you might owe somebody a keyboard or something like that. But anyway, I was just going to get into something too. I was just going to cover something stock related, and I got distracted. I feel really bad about that, honestly. Damn, got lost there. Sorry, guys. Oh, EYPT. Thank you. No. I didn't get lost. No. Come on, Ryan. It's a Monday morning. Maybe I need another cup of coffee here. EYPT 13. You were asking about this earlier. You were asking about this earlier. Do I like it down here? Honestly, I really think that this probably needs to come in a little bit more. You can see really the move that we made here. Again, our first buy was in a 7 handle right in here. This was a double. Now it's kind of come back in right at the 500-day moving average, that Joe moving average. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Joe. When you right, you're right. Maybe we need to start adding back here at the Joe moving average. You right. You right.
You're right. When you're right, you're right, man. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
Going back to you, Mitch.
Oh yeah, the Amber Alert. The Amber Alert. We need a Jerome Powell button like that, man. Jerome Powell just giving us the alert right there. All right, guys, we'll see what's going on in the market. It's just the battle right now. The Qs are battling, the SPYs battling. It just seems like we're on the battle. Who's going to take it today? The Bears or the Bulls? Of course, I'm betting on the Bulls taking it right now, at least for the day. Let's take bets.
I'm going to take the other side, Mitch. So me and you will go against each other. We did see a bounce here. We did see a bounce here. I think the Bears, despite this bounce, I think the Bears are still in control of this market.
All right.
So that's the bet that we'll take really quickly here. Smoke Tuna says, do you know in Australia there's a golf course with a pond full of bull sharks? Did you know that earlier this year I played in Myrtle Beach, and as I was driving by a sand trap on one of the holes, there was a gigantic gator just bathing, just sunbathing. I was like, you know what? I drove the cart. I was like, that's pretty cool to see, but I'm just gonna leave. I'm not gonna stick around here. And I just drove away. Thing was literally chilling. I was like, wow. I don't know how fast they move, but if they start coming after me, I'd have floored that golf cart. Still had my club in my hand. Bend it off.
Should have ate that gator, Ryan. Should have ate that gator.
And anyway, let's get back to things. Ryan has a point for now. Yeah, point of avoiding.
I would have made gator nuggets. I would have made gator nuggets, but that's just me.
Dave saying, you have to run in zigzags. Born, I appreciate that. That's a Florida native giving you some really good advice there, by the way. It's not like telling somebody to go box bears' ears.
They don't go side to side too well. They're very good at running straight, but boring.
Dave here saying, I never made money fighting the trend, short the rips. That's kind of what I'm saying here about when Mitch says that, maybe today's a bounce day and the Bulls might be in control. That's kind of why I'm taking the other side, right? If the Bears are in control, fighting the trend is not going to be where I make that money. It's going to be going along with that trend. Now, granted, playing Joby here, a little smaller cap, not really connected to what was going on with that initial move at the market. That didn't, not great. Arnaz obviously completely disconnected, just a crazy halt fest here on Arnaz. So, but yeah, trading more of those things that are directly connected to the market. I'm not going to fight it, Dave. I'm not going to fight it.
I hear you, my friend. I hear you. And Joby is coming back to the hourly resistance. Let's see if it becomes support right here. 643, 642 area. I would look for the 640s to hold and come back through the 650s with a rip towards like 660s, 670s. That's just Joby, just to kind of give an outlook on what I see there. Qs are on the battle, guys. I think that's just what I'm watching. That's going to determine a lot here. Going to determine my day, really. Either green or red. Qs are battling. The battle's on, guys, and I'm just looking at it with the TQQQ. Very similar, but if it rips to this upside, I'll probably get my names to go back to the green. Rips to the downside, probably get a bunch of red today. That's the battle, guys, sometimes. At least from right now, we don't expect Zunaid coming back to live trading, Sam, but we'll let you know about that. You can always ask Zunaid when he's on. And I will definitely ask
still doing his interview duties.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, he's not gone
on the channel.
It's just more of a duty shift than anything. Exactly.
Yeah, off of live trading at least. Marriott going lower. Those consumer facing stocks, guys, they keep getting hit. So one stock that I can look at, maybe taking a short today, if I think the market's going to go down, right? And I'm just thinking here, Best Buy. Look at this setup right now. So you see how it's going up to the 69.70s and starting to reject there. So this is a consumer facing stock that's getting a little bit of a bounce that maybe can go right back down to 69s. Not a bad outlook here for me on this Best Buy. I'd look for one more bounce attempt to go into the 69.75s and then getting short, but it could already be breaking down there. Just looking at stock in a different idea, right? Always looking at the second side of the coin. That's consumer facing stocks probably going lower because the consumer's slowing down. Q's tried to make the up move to 358, struggled. So I'm looking for that move now. I don't want to see the Q's break VWAP. I want to see it take 358, 358.50s, and just make a ride up to like 359. There's the attempted move now. I can even show you guys that here. Let's go to the Q's. So you see how the 358's right above it here. I'm really looking for a close back up here. Starting to push away from all this price action. Let's see if it takes it now.
BPTS pushing out of this sideways zone. BPTS.
BPTS.
That was one that was on the
All
list
being
this
said,
morning.
Tesla still had is still at the high. Yeah, I screwed up Tesla today, guys. Look where I bought and sold it. I screwed that one up earlier.
I screw up Tesla every time I touch it. Like I said, I hate.
I've been doing better on it, but hey, it just didn't give me the pullbacks that I needed today. And then I just said, I'm not fighting this. And it didn't go much lower than where I sold it. Still holding in there relatively well. NVIDIA's off the VWAP. Looking at Microsoft on the lows. Did Apple start making its way back? Yeah, Apple's actually pretty
bouncing.
strong.
Amazon, we talked about Amazon earlier. That's near the highs here today.
Yeah, Amazon was a really nice VWAP attempt there. It went down to VWAP of, I'll show you guys this. This is a nice little setup here. On Amazon, the 5-minute, it pulled down to 130.04. VWAP 130.02, Ryan. And it doesn't go anywhere near that when it closes the candle. It's at 130.44. Those types of recoveries are the ones that I like. So you get, I mean, that's how quickly does that recover? And look at the 15-minute. Where did this come back? It came back right towards some previous support that became another support around 130.20 area. That was a nice little area.
13 saying I was 3 for 3 in BPTS today, but I think I'm done with it. Not liking how fast these rug pulls are happening. Yeah, I noticed that here. This last area that we were trading, when I had mentioned that it was breaking out of the sideways area, so literally as soon as I mentioned that, we knifed. We're right back in it here. So and you could see the other knife earlier pretty much gave back all the gains that we had there. So the rug pulls, this just goes to show you, if you get gains in any of these smaller stocks, don't be afraid to take them earlier, even if it's only 10 or 13 cents, whatever you have, take the gains so it doesn't come back on you. I got bailed out and Joby reversed all the way. Joby went red, but because I was able to have a decent entry and sell it above that, we didn't take a loss on it. We only have green on the screen for today, despite it really not being a whole lot.
Oil staying strong. BTU, one that I was talking about earlier today, had a pretty decent day. So if you're looking at a play like coal's staying strong right now. I think a lot of that is oil staying strong. The Qs are in the battle. It went up on a 5-minute to 357.93, but stops there and now pulled back to 357.50s. This battle's still on here. The only question is, can it hold the pullbacks right now? I wouldn't want it to see it go back through a low of 357.26 here. That's going to be the attempt right now. It looks like it goes to the 30s right now, 32s. Doing that attempt to make another low here. And usually I look for about 2 or 3 cracks of VWAP, hold, reversal action through with a bullish engulfing candle, something like that through 358. Would be the bullish upside continuation that I'm looking for. See if we get it today. Show you guys that on Amazon. That's of course on like kind of more like a 5-minute chart. But it could also just be the rule of 3, right? Qs. See if we can get it here.
SCYX rounding off the bottom.
SCYX.
Yeah, this kind of curling off the bottom. This what happened here? Let me check the news on this. I just looking at the price action here and trade the pool, but let me use Benzinga Pro to go ahead and figure out what's going on here. SCYX shares are trading lower after the company announced that it's recalling Brexafemme and temporarily halting clinical studies of another drug I can't pronounce due to its risk of cross-contamination with a non-bacterial beta-lactam drug substance during the manufacturing process. Wow, that's a mouthful. Does not sound good. Market, this is just a straight-up bounce play. This is just I mean, it does not seem like good news. Here we go, SPY. Jason, are you thinking SPY breaks down here? Looks like it's trying to roll over here, Jason. Is that what you're... Jason, just for clarity, Jason said, here we go, SPY. I'm trying to clarify. Jason, you think here we go rolling over here? That's what the chart looks like to me.
I guess is tale of two tapes. This is a nice pullback. As long as I think you don't break 429.50s here, you're still looking good, at least from what I look at. We'll see what happens. All right, after this, guys, we will have the Trader Bacon show coming to you guys at 11 a.m. It's 10:53. We're going to wrap it up in just a couple seconds.
Zunaid is doing the interview, right? Zunaid's on part of that Trader Bacon show?
I don't know if he's on it today. He was filling in last week. But
Gotcha. Okay. He was being asked for earlier. I was just trying to promote our guy. That's all.
Yeah, you guys can always hit him up, right? You guys know his Twitter. If you don't, hit that man up. All right, we'll see what else is going on. Dark Matter and Battle Rap. We need a Battle Rap right now. It seems like things are slowing down a little bit. We'll see if we get another
I can't help you with the rap battle. I'll just go out on a limb and say that I cannot help you with the rap battle.
Now. That's what I was expecting right now. I was about to just,
sorry, man. I hate letting people down.
Where you at,
unfortunately,
Come on, man.
I'm not a freestyler. No.
Oh, man. Unfortunately, it looks like not the freestyler there. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. We'll see what happens in the market. We'll see if the Qs can hang on here. 357 pullback. Anything below that, definitely you're going to start seeing some takedown. We'll see what happens. It's testing it right now. You can see it pulling back there. We'll see what happens in the market. Going to keep battling. Guys, tune in later today to find out what happens in the market. Any last words, Ryan, before we hop out of here?
Yeah, just be careful. Again, we got a market like this, and if you're able to get stocks that are moving in the direction that you're trading them, don't be afraid to take your gains. You'll be okay. No one ever got really hurt taking a profit.
All right, and like always, you guys can check out Trade the Pool. If you guys haven't done so already, definitely hit the link in the description below or right here in the chat. And I will wrap it up, guys. Like always, you guys can go ahead and check it out and even get a 14-day free trial. If you just want to go ahead and check it out and see what happens, hey, check it out. Learn the platform. See what you could be doing with Trade the Pool. I'll see you guys back here, like always, right here on live trading. And check me out later on Start Swing Trade. Keep battling, team. It's always good to have you, Ryan. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take you guys over to, of course, coming up next, you guys got the Trader Bacon show. Don't go anywhere, team. We always got more for you guys right here. All right, let me fix this layout. Get you guys over there.